Time has been bent, and you are at its center. This is not a randomly chosen moment. Your presence is specially placed for this age. Your soul is the carrier of a timeless plan. Maybe everything has overlapped. Maybe you feel like the years have been wasted. But actually, God has placed you in a time capsule. That's why you should write 77 in the comments right now, because you were chosen for this generation. You are not an ordinary person. Your voice is programmed not just for today, but to repair the past and build the future. This is not a coincidence. This is divine technology. God's time machine is working through you. You are completing the unfinished books of the past. You heal the pain passed down through your family. You carry the burden of future generations. But it is not a curse, it is a privilege, because whoever God has entrusted with much, he has trusted much. And you are the living proof of that trust. You may not realize it, but certain people in your life are not just offering help. They are quietly maneuvering the strings of your emotions. They act as if they're guiding you. But in reality, they are shaping your path to keep you in a place where they remain necessary. Like a puppeteer, they carefully position themselves as your source of comfort, your supposed ally, but all they really do is manipulate the very core of who you are, keeping you tethered to them in a dance that never feels quite right. What appears to be a lifeline is really a chain, hidden beneath the guise of love. When you interact with them, there's a strange aftertaste. It's not the feeling of being uplifted or supported. Instead, it feels like something has been taken. They weave their words like silk, wrapping you in soft promises of understanding. Yet beneath that, they plant seeds of doubt and insecurity. You'll walk away from these encounters feeling less sure of yourself than before, unsure whether you're being helped or subtly redirected to their benefit. This isn't about affection, it's a game of power. They don't show up to genuinely connect or heal. They show up to control. At first, it might seem like they're a source of wisdom, offering you advice in ways that feel almost prophetic. But with every piece of guidance they provide, they are slowly pulling you away from your own clarity and purpose. What they call help is really a trap, designed to bind you closer to their influence. The more you pull away, the more they shine, becoming even more radiant, more understanding, pulling you back into their orbit. Their manipulation is not loud. It doesn't need to be. It's woven into the subtle shifts of behavior, the quiet, almost imperceptible changes in tone that make you question your own decisions. Every action, every word is calculated. They disguise themselves as mirrors, reflecting your hopes, your struggles, but they only reflect their own desires. What they offer isn't alignment, but a carefully constructed image designed to keep you seeking validation from them while they remain firmly in control. As you continue this delicate dance, it becomes more difficult to distinguish between what is truly your path and what they have steered you toward. You begin to lose your sense of direction, unsure whether your feelings are your own or just a result of their influence. But the illusion doesn't last forever. Eventually, the cracks start to show. The mask slips. The words no longer carry the weight they once did. You start to see the manipulation for what it is, and in that moment, you are given the clarity to break free from the cycle. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. It's easy to get caught in a cycle where your every move feels preordained by forces you can't see. But the truth is, this isn't about love. It's about control. When you begin to see the patterns, that's when the game changes. What felt like connection was actually a carefully constructed web meant to keep you tied to them. And when you decide it's time to step away, suddenly, the guilt creeps in. You begin to wonder if you're the one being cold, distant, or ungrateful. That's exactly what they want. They use your kindness, your open heart, and your willingness to give, to keep you in their grasp. They never cared about your heart. They cared about your soul's energy. They didn't come for your love. They came to drain your essence, to feed off the light you have. But you've woken up to the pattern. The mask is slipping, and now you see them for what they really are: an illusion, thriving off your light. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Imagine a mighty river whose current carries both the promise of nourishment and the hidden danger of a swift undertow. This is the essence of what's at stake when you let illusions dictate your life. You may believe that fate has woven your destiny, that every twist and turn is predestined for your ultimate fulfillment. But what if this isn't destiny at all, but a cunning trap set by those who would have you surrender your power without even realizing it? You've been led to believe that the signs and symbols of connection, those whispers of soulmate, twin flame, and forever, are the hallmarks of a deep spiritual bond meant to guide you on your journey. Instead, they are carefully chosen words designed to ensnare you in a cycle of longing and dependence. Far from being a genuine invitation to grow, these phrases have become the very chains that bind you, turning what should be an open road to healing into a labyrinth of waiting and unfulfilled promises. It might seem as if there is someone out there, the one who understands you in ways that no one else ever could. They appear as if they were carved from the same essence of your soul, offering the comfort of a connection so profound it almost feels celestial. Yet beneath this veneer of spiritual kinship lies a calculated strategy, a methodical exploitation of your deepest desires for belonging and meaning. Rather than bringing you solace and liberation, their words and actions are intended to keep you locked in a perpetual state of anticipation and vulnerability. Each interaction with these figures, who present themselves as the answers to your unspoken prayers, is meticulously orchestrated. They know precisely how to mirror your hopes and dreams, reflecting back an image that seems to promise endless fulfillment. But as you lean in closer, drawn by the allure of what appears to be a kindred spirit, you gradually begin to sense that something is amiss. The connection they offer, rather than lightening your burdens, slowly starts to feel like a weight pressing down on your very soul. What should have been a source of peace instead morphs into a battleground where your own energy is systematically drained. In these moments, you might even start questioning your own worth. The gentle nudges and reassurances that once filled you with hope now leave you wondering if you're being unkind or ungrateful when you seek to break free. It's as if the very empathy that once opened your heart has been repurposed against you, turning your natural capacity for love into a tool for manipulation. Their version of connection is not built on genuine care or mutual respect. It is a meticulously constructed illusion, a facade that disguises their true intent: to capture your spark and keep it for themselves. This isn't a case of simple misunderstanding or the innocent mishaps of human connection. It is a deliberate design, a playbook honed to perfection by those who are experts in the subtle art of emotional control. They use language not as a means to uplift, but as a weapon to tighten their grip around you. Every carefully chosen word, every seemingly heartfelt compliment is aimed at drawing you further into their web, and the more you rely on their affirmations, the more they secure their hold, leaving you entangled in a network of dependency that masquerades as intimacy. As you begin to see the truth behind the facade, a startling realization dawns. What you once thought was destiny was, in fact, a series of calculated moves meant to keep you confined. The vision they project, the one they dress in the finest language of commitment and everlasting bonds, is nothing more than a mirage. Instead of being a beacon of liberation, it becomes a prison that restricts your freedom and stifles your true potential. Consider the countless times you've found yourself waiting, believing that each setback was simply a part of the grand design meant to prepare you for an eventual transcendent union. The promise of a cosmic connection, of an ethereal alignment, has often been sold to you as the ultimate proof of a deeper divine order. But what if that promise was nothing more than a cleverly disguised trap, a tactic to ensure that you remain tethered to a reality that isn't your own? What if every moment spent in this endless waiting is a moment stolen from the life you were meant to live, vibrant, unencumbered, and free? Imagine a vast open plain under a boundless sky, a place where true freedom exists, where every breath is a testament to your inherent worth. Now imagine that the path to that open plain has been deliberately obscured by fog, laid thick by those who would rather see you lost in a maze of confusion and self-doubt. That fog is not a natural phenomenon. It is manufactured by voices that echo false promises and distorted dreams. These voices whisper of a destiny that isn't truly yours, of a connection so profound that it demands every ounce of your energy, leaving you depleted and questioning every step you take. The irony is profound. The very language that once gave you hope now serves to undermine it. What should have been a celebration of your unique journey has become a contest in which your light is the prize to be won, measured, and ultimately controlled by those who claim to know what is best for you. They fashion their narratives around your deepest longings, skillfully intertwining your personal story with their own agenda. In doing so, they transform your search for meaning into a series of transactions where every smile, every tear, every moment of vulnerability is catalogued and exploited. Yet within this intricate web of deception lies the seed of your liberation. There comes a time when the weight of this false narrative becomes too heavy to bear, when the clutter of manipulated emotions and borrowed words begins to choke the very life out of you. That is the moment of awakening, the moment when you finally recognize that the connection you've been offered is not a gift, but a carefully measured extraction of your energy. It is at that point that you reclaim your power, understanding that your worth is not determined by someone else's version of destiny. Real freedom, true alignment, and genuine connection are not found in the hollow promises of those who seek to control you. They are found in the courage to chart your own course, to listen to the quiet strength that comes from within, and to step boldly into the open plain where your soul can breathe freely. This is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of a new chapter, one in which you no longer allow anyone else to dictate the terms of your existence. Instead, you hold fast to the truth that you are the master of your own destiny, the sole architect of the life you are meant to lead. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. In the end, the illusion of fate that was so carefully constructed to trap you fades away in the light of your awareness. The words that once ensnared you lose their power, and you emerge from the shadows of manipulation into a space of clarity and purpose. The cycle of waiting and dependency is broken, replaced by a vibrant, unyielding commitment to honor your own truth. You are not merely a participant in a grand design, you are the creator of your own narrative, the bearer of a light that cannot be dimmed by the false promises of others. Your journey is one of relentless perseverance, of standing firm in the face of subtle, insidious forces that seek to claim what is rightfully yours. It is a call to rise above the illusion, to reject the fabricated destiny that has been sold to you, and to embrace the boundless possibilities that await when you trust in your own inner power. With each step you take, you break free from the chains that once held you captive, and you forge a path that is uniquely your own, a path illuminated by the brilliance of your spirit and the truth of your existence. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Remember, the promise of a cosmic connection is not the same as the reality of genuine, transformative love. True connection is not about the accumulation of empty words or hollow assurances. It is about the deep, unyielding bond that is forged through authenticity, compassion, and mutual respect. It is a connection that elevates your spirit, nourishes your soul, and empowers you to become the best version of yourself. And that is the legacy you are meant to leave, a legacy of strength, clarity, and a steadfast commitment to your own truth. As you move forward, may you never forget that you possess the power to dismantle any structure that seeks to limit your potential. The forces that once held you in a cycle of dependency are now rendered powerless by the light of your awareness. With every breath, you reclaim a piece of your essence that was once taken, and you transform it into a beacon of hope and resilience. In this new chapter, every moment is a testament to your unwavering resolve, a celebration of your ability to rise above and claim the destiny that is uniquely yours. Step boldly into the future, knowing that the illusions of the past have no place in the brilliant reality you are creating. The darkness has been lifted, not by the hands of fate, but by the strength of your spirit and the clarity of your vision. In your hands lies the power to shape a life that is rich with meaning, love, and genuine connection, a life that reflects the truth of who you are, free from the confines of manipulated dreams and deceptive promises. Now is the time to embrace your freedom, to trust in the power that lies within you, and to step confidently into a new era where you are the ultimate author of your own story. The journey ahead is filled with endless possibilities, each one a reminder that your light, your truth, is an unassailable force, capable of dispelling even the deepest shadows. With every step, let your heart be guided by the unyielding knowledge that you are not defined by the illusions of others, but by the boundless potential of your own spirit. Your story is one of transformation and triumph, a testament to the power of self-belief and the unbreakable strength of the human soul. And as you continue to walk your path with unwavering determination, may you always be reminded that the destiny you create is yours alone. Free from the chains of false promises and manipulative narratives, you stand as a beacon of hope, a living testament to the truth that true love and genuine connection are found not in the words of others, but in the steadfast light of your own soul. Embrace this new beginning with open arms, for it is in the freedom of your own making that you discover the real magic of life, a magic that is pure, untainted, and infinitely yours. Every moment is an opportunity to celebrate the truth of who you are, to shine your light brightly for all the world to see, and to live a life that is as extraordinary as the spirit that burns within you. Let your journey be a reminder that you are not defined by the shadows of manipulation, but by the radiant brilliance of your own authentic self. Picture a sturdy oak standing tall in a vast field, its branches strong and its roots deep. Yet hidden among the vibrant leaves are subtle vines that try to choke its growth. This is what happens when you begin to seek the clarity and space you so rightly deserve. It doesn't stop there. When you muster the courage to step back and ask for room to breathe, that is when the deception takes on a new form. The facade that has been maintained with such care starts to crumble, and the true nature of those who once claimed to offer connection is revealed. What once appeared as a sacred bond transforms into an unspoken debt, a burden placed squarely upon your shoulders. Suddenly, you find yourself questioning every step, every decision. The weight of expectation shifts, and you feel as though you are the one falling short, the one who isn't giving enough. They plant the idea in your heart that without their constant presence, you will be lost, unable to navigate the journey of healing, growth, and progress. In those moments, a seed of doubt takes root in your spirit. You begin to wonder if the path you are on is truly your own, or if it has been paved by someone else's agenda, a false version of love designed to keep you tethered to their desires. Their influence is subtle yet powerful, luring you into a cycle where dependency feels like destiny, and every time you try to break free, you are met with gentle but firm reminders of how indispensable they claim to be. They use carefully chosen words, sweet yet calculated, to convince you that their way is the only way. The language they employ may seem comforting at first, a reassurance, a promise of security, but over time, those words become a shackle, binding you in a cycle of self-doubt and emotional fatigue. They imply that every misstep is your fault, that every failure is a sign you are not capable of standing alone. Their gentle prodding morphs into an unyielding pressure, convincing you that you cannot find your own way without their guidance. At first glance, their offer of connection appears as a gift, a divine hand reaching out in your time of need. But look closer, and you see the hidden cost. What is offered as support is, in fact, a carefully orchestrated trap, a method to keep you within a circle of influence that serves their interest rather than yours. Each time you lean on them, your own inner light seems to dim a little more. The very compassion that once flowed freely from your heart is redirected into a channel that benefits them alone, leaving you increasingly isolated and questioning your worth. When you start to assert your need for space and clarity, that is precisely when the manipulation escalates. They transform from a comforting presence into a source of guilt and obligation. Their friendly words shift in tone, and suddenly you are burdened with the notion that you are the one failing the mission, that you are the one who isn't doing enough to maintain the bond. It becomes a test of your loyalty and resilience, as if every act of independence is a betrayal to the delicate balance they have created. They insinuate that without them, you would never have the strength to overcome your challenges, that you depend on their constant reassurance to keep your path illuminated. In this skewed reflection of care, the promise of love and connection is twisted into a command that you remain within their sphere of influence. They frame your desire for self-discovery as a misstep, an act of disloyalty, compelling you to question whether your pursuit of freedom is an act of selfishness or a necessary step towards true healing. But here is the truth. Real strength comes from within, and genuine love uplifts rather than binds. When you look deep into your heart, you recognize that the dependency they have created is not a sign of your weakness. It is a barrier to the abundant life that you are meant to lead. True connection is about empowering one another, not about creating a network of control. It is about nurturing the unique spark within each soul so that it may shine without dimming under the weight of expectation. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed and let the light of the Lord guide your path. Now is the time to reclaim your space, to honor your worth, and to step confidently into the light of your own truth. Understand that the burden of expectation is not yours to bear, and that the path to healing, growth, and forward movement lies in embracing your independence. Trust that the journey you are meant to travel is one of your own making, a path defined by your strength, your resilience, and your unwavering commitment to your inner light. As you walk this path, remember that the love you deserve is not contingent upon constant validation from others. It is an inherent gift that resides within you, waiting to be recognized and celebrated. Do not let anyone convince you that you are incomplete without their presence. Instead, allow your spirit to flourish in the freedom of your own design, knowing that true connection comes from sharing your authentic self without fear or obligation. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Embrace the promise of your future with confidence, for you are not destined to remain confined by the expectations of others. The time has come to break free from the chains of manipulation, to rise above the false narrative that has been imposed upon you, and to step boldly into the glorious reality that is uniquely yours. Trust in the power of your inner light, for it is a beacon that will guide you to the fulfillment of your deepest dreams, a fulfillment that is yours alone and nothing less. But here's where the real shift happens. You weren't drawn into their web because you were weak. You were drawn in because you have something they desperately wanted: depth, purpose, soul power. They targeted your brilliance, your ability to love deeply, and they twisted that into a tool to keep you bound. But now, you can see it for what it really is. True destiny doesn't require manipulation. It flows naturally, like a river, finding its course. Real love doesn't demand you prove your worth through sacrifice. It simply supports you as you walk your path. True soul connections don't create confusion. They bring clarity, they amplify your spirit, and they protect your peace. Deep inside, you knew this all along. The quiet voice that whispered the truth hasn't gone away. It's getting stronger. You are waking up, and now that you can hear it clearly, you're reclaiming your light.